AM 950, WWJ number 9 MSU hosting Minnesota today. That'll be at 2 p.m. Former Lions head coach Jim Caldwell, now part of the Miami Dolphins coaching staff. Former Lions quarterback coach Jim Bob Cooter hooks up with the New York Jets, where he will be their running backs coach. Phil Mickelson, part of a four-way tie for the clubhouse lead late in the second round at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. The second round was suspended by rain. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 97.1theticket.com.
The following is a paid program. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed, alongside of me, Harry Glanz.
Morning, Harvey. You sound great today. You're jacked up. It's sunny out, 18 degrees out. You're pretty pumped up today.
I know. I got a suit on and the whole deal here. I'm trying to look better for
suit
Facebook.
On, yeah.
Not too bad. I got a client
later. Radio, but a suit makes you look better.
We've got a great show for you, Harry. There's no doubt about that. We got Ron Jacobs from our office. Hey, Ronnie, good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
All right, Ronnie, thanks for coming in. Of course, you're bringing in Craig Joe Wright from Howard Hanna Realty in downtown Birmingham. It's awesome to have you here, Craig. You're a real superstar. We know all about you.
Thank you guys for having me. This is truly a blessing. So
good.
Looking forward to it.
We make it a lot of fun here.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk about what you do and what you see the market trending in your area. And as we talked about a little bit off the show, I know you talked to Harvey during the week. You'll tell us what you talked about, but just you and I getting to know each other. And it's, it's fun when you meet new people. It's fun when you read up on them, their background. And he's a family guy, has 3 kids. And, when you're a parent and there's only 2 of you and you have 3 kids, we call it playing zone defense. You can't play man-to-man. You got to play zone, so you got to try to switch it up a little bit, right?
A lot of zoning. Lots of
zoning going on.
That's fantastic. Craig, a lot of good luck to your clients and prosperity. I know you've been doing some great work, getting people into some awesome houses. Actually, Fannie Mae released some positive information. Their outlook for 2019 sort of improved recently, which is good news. How's your first 6 weeks of the year shaping up?
So far, it's actually been, be honest, a little slow at the beginning. It's actually started to pick up within the last 3 to 4 days. Picked up a couple listings, 4 or 5 new buyers. Getting them pre-approved and rocking and rolling right now. Yeah,
one of the hurdles has been, where's the inventory going to end up for 2019? And we talk about the empty nesters wanting to downsize their home so often. Get into that a little bit. Like even your folks that are going to be selling, what is their plan? Is it a little of everything out there?
So far, I'm seeing, I'm getting a lot of the millennials coming out, looking at the prices, seeing what the rates are coming down a little bit, and they're excited. I think there was a little bit of hesitation about 6-8 months ago when the rates were going up, and we were thinking that they were going to hit in the 5s, if over the 5s, and now we're seeing them back down in the 4.2. So, yeah, we're seeing a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we're going to have a great show for you here, no doubt about that. 248-539-9797. If you're thinking about selling your house or buying a new one, Craig would be an awesome guy to get hooked up with. He's got tons of knowledge. He's had a great career going here. And again, the best thing about dealing with Craig is the honesty. Like Harry said, he's a hometown boy here, so we definitely want to hook him up. Anyone out there thinking about buying a house, Harry, as we get into 2019, we got this little window here, Craig. There's no doubt about that. Harry, there's this 2-month window before I think everyone's going to be attacking these few listings that are out there.
Well, historically speaking, here in Michigan, when the weather starts to get warmer around July, when the weather starts getting warmer in the middle, beginning in the middle of March toward April, you're going to see everybody starting to throw their homes out on the market. If you can get ahead of the game right now and your house is in pretty good shape, there's no time like the present, all right? It's cliche, but it happens to be true. If you're thinking about making a move, whether it's buying a house, you have to prepare to buy that house. You have to get your ducks in a row, you have to get your team ready, and you have to get your pre-approval. If you're thinking about, like Craig said, putting your house on the market, you've got to get that house ready to roll. You just can't all of a sudden one day say, I'm selling my house. What do you have to do to get that house ready?
There's so much to do, but I want to just piggyback off of what you just said. Right now is a great time to sell. The competition is a lot lower. A lot of people think that, hey, spring market, my grass is going to be green, the trees are in bloom. But to be honest with you, I do more business between February and March. There's not that competition out there. But just to get the house ready, make the inside look good. Make that front door. A lot of people don't think that the front door is a big deal, but having that front door painted, get the nicks out of it, get the dings out of it, change that door. That's the first thing that people see. They take that into the house, and if it's in good shape, the rest of the house, they're not looking for little things to nitpick on.
Right. That first impression, though, is always the best. Thank you for giving me my second chance at the first impression, Craig. We'll get to that later, maybe. We are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Of course, we got a full staff all weekend long. We'll help you get that strong approval letter. Sit down, go face-to-face with you, and put the plan for your prosperity. That's what it's all about, putting the right plan together. And, Craig, I got to tell you, you've got a home run listing. It's right near Comerica, not to use too many analogies, right across from LCA. I love that condo. Just tell us a little bit about it, because I know it's going to be gone by the weekend.
I would hope so. We actually have an open house tomorrow between 1 and 3:30 over there. It's at 71 Adelaide. You're walking distance to all of the sports events, right?
Yeah.
Little Caesars Arena. You got Comerica. You got Ford Field. It's an awesome area, and it's a great condo. All wood floors, all the way throughout. 2,300 square feet, and it does have a 2-car attached garage.
Wow.
Which is not your typical in Detroit. So really nice.
Having a 2-car garage just in that area alone could be worth a couple $100,000. We'll talk about that in the
what's
future.
the listed price on that condo?
We're at $540 at that condo.
All right. Well, that's going to be highest and best all weekend long. Definitely give us a call here at the studio. We'll get you all set up. Again, it's a great open house. We'll get you in touch with Craig if you want to set up a time. It's going to be open tomorrow. And again, it's going to be highest and best. And we're thinking it's going to go this weekend for sure. And if you're thinking about maybe getting a piece of Detroit and the rebirth of what's going on, this condo is smack dab just off of Woodward there on Adeline. And
so
just
much
an
activity.
unbelievable location.
Yeah, there's so much activity there. We've done a lot of those condos. We did them when they first were built. Did them 10 years ago. We're doing them now. And it's a great area. And like Craig said, its location cannot be beat. It's in the middle of everything. Absolutely in the middle of everything.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Hey, rates aren't going to get in the way of any purchases this year. I mean, there's, like you said, guys, it was a little scary there at the beginning as we saw rates starting to move up October,
I don't
November.
know. Was it scary?
Not for anybody. I mean, people
was
were
it scary.
If it went to 7 or 8%, that might scare some people away, but not
so
just over
scary.
5.
So it was a little over 5, 5.25, maybe 5 3/8, right, Harv? Okay, so now what we've seen is we talked about it a few weeks ago. Rates are at 9-month lows right now. All right, rates are in the mid 4s, mid to high 4s for a 30-year fixed, conforming conventional loan. They're in the low 4s for a 15-year fixed. And is that really low? Yeah, that's tremendously low.
Yeah.
Is that at the lowest it's ever been? Well, you're not going to get that. We have to forget about that. But when you talk about rates in the 4s, you're talking about that's what the rates were in the 1960s and 1966, 67. Rates were in the 4s.
You know what I like? You know what I like too? A lot of families that just bought houses, they're getting those 1098 statements now. They're getting those tax deductions. They're sitting down with their CPAs, and they're experiencing what home ownership's all about. They were spending $1,400 last year for nothing. They're spending that same kind of money, maybe even a little more, and they're getting much more back. The tax deduction of home ownership, being able to write your property taxes off up to $10,000, $750,000 interest deduction. These are still what make home ownership so great here, and you got to have a roof over your head. So it's your lifestyle. You choose how you want to live, and of course, we'll definitely help you get that approval and move you forward.
So rates should not hinder, even if rates go here. I'm not even going to say the word that I was going to say, what the number was going to be. But if rates go up another half a point to a point, it's still, ladies and gentlemen out there, you're still going to be very low. Now, the question you're going to say is, Harry, you're an idiot because that's going to affect my payment. Well, let's figure out how much that is going to affect your payment. And that's when you sit down and you crunch the numbers. So, you know what? I could be an idiot on the radio, but I'm going to work the payment out for you, and you're going to tell me if you can afford it. We're going to tell you if you can qualify. You're going to tell us if you want to lay your head down on your pillow at night and want to afford that payment. We're in it for the success of you, all right? Like Craig is, he wants to sell you a house or a condo that's going to fit your lifestyle. We want to put you in that mortgage that is going to go ahead and complement your lifestyle, not make it crazy. How'd I do?
You did great.
Did
I like
fine.
that a lot.
Wonderful.
Hey, if you want to join the show, 248-539-9797. Of course, we always want to hear from you here live in the studio. We are Facebooking live the show, so if you want to check us out on Facebook Live, of course, you can go at Capital Mortgage Funding. So just take a look at that. Again, like us on the Facebook page at Capital Mortgage Funding. It's pretty easy stuff. Or call our office at 1-800-LOW-RATE. Definitely want to hook all the families out there. I got a meeting here, young families coming in this afternoon, and we're going to see what we can do to move them forward. Again, it's getting those steps and putting your whole team together at the beginning so that you're not scrambling. And with this heavy-duty competition coming, Craig, I know you experienced it the last few years in the industry, you have to have your team, your approval, and really your plan and process all together.
100%. I mean, if you're not prepared, you're going to be outbid. There's still places where there's multiple offers. It's slowing down a little bit, but there's still places. I actually just had one the other day where brand new in Ferndale. Really, really nicely done. And Artie's gotten 3 offers, and it's only been a day.
There you go. All right, folks. We're giving you the urge there to go ahead and get that approval letter. Get your ducks in a row. We'll show you how to do it. 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Welcome back to the show, 9:15. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. That's where you're going to get a strong approval letter. Deal with the real professionals. Yeah. We close them in 15 days if we need to. Most of the folks out there nowadays, Harry, they have great income. The recession's gone. Everyone's working here in Southeast Michigan. They've saved enough money. Hopefully, more and more families will go ahead and get that stronger approval letter where they can sit down and really move forward with confidence.
Listen, you shouldn't go looking for something that you can't afford. Okay, so how do you know if you can afford it? If you get approved. And we're talking about an approval. We're not talking about a qualification letter. We're not talking about something that's not written on the piece of paper that it's worth. But guess what? You're approved. You go look. You go with Lee. You shop with confidence. He puts you in a house. We get you approved. You move in. And you don't need to move in 15 days.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, got to stop with that. All right? I mean, because the seller doesn't have anywhere to go. Right? So what are you going to move in 15 days for? All right. If you want to, sure, we can do it. We can do it in 15. We can do it in 30 if you want. Most purchase agreements, Lee, are 30 to 45. Standard's 45.
That's right. Yeah, and it's people forget, too, if someone's going to fall through, it's usually the inspection, the appraisal, and so the homeowner doesn't start moving out of the house immediately upon accepting an offer. So
right.
you got to give them time. It's their house. Their family's there. Everything needs to move out.
Yeah, if you've lived in the house for 25, 30 years, you've got stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Okay, you got a lot of stuff. And, hopefully the people are putting their house on the market. They've gone through all their stuff because people are going to go through their house. They should have it organized so when people properly look at a house, they can see things and take a look at the space and make it a nice, when you list a house, Lee, what do you tell people?
I tell them that, look, people are going to come through. There's a lot of steps, a lot of hurdles. We want to make sure we're on the same page. And I don't trust anybody on the other side of the transaction. So don't start packing up and getting everything ready until usually once the inspection goes through. If I price things pretty accurately, so I'm not too worried about the appraisal. But I say don't do anything. Don't hire the U-Haul truck and get everything packed up. Get your pogs all put away. Wait until after that inspection's done.
Yeah, don't jinx the whole transaction. We've seen that happen. That's for sure. 248-539-9797. Yeah, it's interesting this time of year what kind of traffic we're going to see out there. But we do feel like the inventory is light on those good homes. So that's between, let's say 100 and 350. It's going to be crazy out there again. 2019, this coming spring, it's already started. So again, if you're thinking about home ownership, maybe you're just going to wait to sit down and see how much like I said, you're going to get back on your tax return. Figure out the whole situation. Make it really happen for your family. We'll show you how to do it the right way. A great example, Lee, has really been with the slower traffic that the builders had over the last 2 months. They were willing to do some deals. So this time of the year is still very interesting. And you might find that diamond in the rough. You might find the right situation where the seller does need to get out.
That's a key word. Yeah, Lee and Harvey, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Lee, but that's the key word. The key word is it's situational. Mm-hmm. And I like
about the music industry. Demi Lovato was there. We threw huge parties before the Shania Twain, Journey, and Zach Brown concerts. Plus a bunch more. Get more info on Musictown Detroit at musictowndetroit.com.
The Detroit Red Wings play the Buffalo Sabres. Pre-game this afternoon at 12:40 on 97.1 The Ticket.
Alrighty, welcome back to the show. 9:15 if you're just joining the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Again, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We're in our 19th plus season here. Hopefully you can join our show. Taking all your calls live at 248-539-9797. always checking us out live on Facebook. And we like to share a lot of great experiences. We got a couple good things going on here in 2019. All the callers that call in, leave your name and number. We're going to put your name every quarter. We're going to put your name in the hat. We're going to do a random drawing and give away some really fun stuff for the house. We're doing it's anywhere about a $50 home package, but a lot of fun. Again, we want to hear from you and what your experiences are and what's going on out there.
Yeah, I think it's more than that, isn't it?
Like $50 to $100 or something. I don't know. We'll see how great the calls are.
Yeah,
the calls have to be really good.
Right. Yeah, I think it's more than that. It's around, between 50 and 100, but it could go higher.
All right, fine, fair enough. I'll throw in a few bucks too here into the pot.
You never know what the sponsors are going to throw in, right?
There you go. Hey, making housing, the purchase of a house, a lot of fun and stuff, Craig. And that's one of the things I mentioned to you yesterday. And that's what I feel every spring, or as we head into the spring. That's what I say. It's going to be a roof over your head. You got to like the neighbors. You got to like driving home. You can't make a mistake. This is going to be a lot of money, right? It's not something like when you're buying a house. It's not like you can flip it the next day and make money. You're going to be forced to pay commissions and such. So how is it, how do we keep things fun and exciting? And how do you find it going into this 2019?
Just with my clients alone, I like to make it a total experience, right? From going out to looking at homes, stopping maybe at your local pub or restaurant, take them out to dinner, get to know them a little bit more, especially if they're brand new clients that you've never met before. Try to get to them and make that experience enjoyable. Go to the houses and have contests and do that kind of stuff to make it rewarding for them at the end of the day, and to try to make that transaction is a happy one.
We talk about those needs lists. You sit down with the family. I love how your approach with that, and then you get to know what they're looking for. And then sometimes these needs have to change a little bit. The needs and the wants, and you're shuffling those around a little bit. We definitely talked about location. That's going to be the key thing. Sometimes we have to think out of the box a little bit. Do you see some of the houses that haven't sold over the last, let's say even 3 to 6 months? I want to call them. They're just there's some deficient in something. Do you see some opportunity there where maybe some families could think outside of the box and make that their home?
Absolutely. There's a lot of different things that they can do. I always say that the houses that have a ton of character, but the inside might not be redone or refinished, some of those houses are actually the best ones to go buy. They're well taken care of on the inside. Yes, there's not the cosmetic stuff that might be done with the stainless steel appliances or the granite or the paint or whatnot or carpet. But you can go in there and you can have that vision, and I think that's extremely important to look at those, and then look at the fundamental things that are really important: the furnace, the hot water tank, the air conditioner, the windows, the roof. I think those are key things that the homeowner has to look at, and then take into the cosmetic part of it.
Yeah, so Craig, we talk about that a lot. We talked about it most recently last week on the show, is that the big things are the big things. That's what you check out: the windows, the roof, the furnace, the foundation, the cracks here and there. Those are the big things. The cosmetics, the orange walls. If you like orange walls, fine. If you don't, just paint over them. If you like that shag green carpet from 1967, then keep it. If you don't, then just take it out. But those aren't things that are material. The material facts of buying a house are the big items. You got to have somebody, and that's why we highly tout a home inspection. Those are the things that we're not trained to see. Even us in the industry, you go in, I'm not a professional. I don't know what a bad roof from a good roof is, and cracked windows and all that kind of. And by the way, what's in the attic? I'm not climbing up in the attic. Right? What's in that attic?
Bats.
There are bats, right?
There's definitely.
And right now the bats are dormant. Okay, so they're lying up there. It's freezing out. They're not coming out.
Yeah.
So you have to have somebody go up in there and check that out. Pull away that insulation. I know you're a great real estate agent, but you're not going up and doing that.
I've tried,
Right.
But you're absolutely right. I don't want to go in that attic.
Right, you're not going in that bad attic.
Not in the ones that are in the 1860s either.
Right. You fall right through.
Absolutely.
Craig, definitely all these great shows on TV, see them on HGTV and stuff, The Fixer Upper, Love It or List It, Property Brothers. They're really fun stuff. The renovation loans are out there. We offer them at Capital Mortgage Funding. Anyone listening out there, if you're with your agent, you just haven't found the right house, or you did find the right location, but as we're talking about, there was something that just didn't jive with the house. Well, you can get a conventional renovation loan or an FHA 203K. These are loans where you can close on the transaction, hire the professional teams to get in there and make the house the way you want it. So these are very popular loans. We do a great job of them at Capital Mortgage. Again, 1-800-LOW-RATE. Get in touch with us here in the show and see what those terms are. Very similar to what your standard mortgage terms are. As a real estate agent, you can close on them, and then you're all done. You wash your hands, and then the construction guys get in there and all the contractors get in there and complete the work. These processes literally might be another 45 to 50 days. And again, you want to call the professionals at Capital. We've got a whole team set up. John Coleman, a couple of the people in the office do just fantastic work on those programs. So for anyone out there, it's something here, as you know, some of these houses, everything's perfect about it, but it just needs a lot of money to fix it up, and they don't have the money, so we have an alternative to that.
All right, you can roll that. You can roll it in. You can even roll in the appliances into the transaction. And you talk about the stainless steel appliances. Those are the appliances du jour. If everything's stainless steel, all of a sudden the house looks better, right? And that's what it's about. When you go to list your house, you want to make sure, and everybody's so visual, and you talk about the front door. Why the front door? That's the first thing you see when you pull up to a house. It makes so much sense. And in the summertime, it's the landscaping, right?
Absolutely.
So if your lawn's properly manicured and your front door looks good and the bushes are trimmed, automatically people get that visual, optical experience. Then they're saying, wow, this is really nice.
Very psychological. And again, when you walk into that front door and you see that it's all painted, you're not looking for little things. You're not looking for cracks in the walls. You're not looking for, it's kind of common sense, but a lot of times it's not out there. So it's good to point those things out.
Yeah, definitely. If they're taking care of any small things in the house, you figure that the bigger things are taken care of. We've talked about it the last few months about really fixing up the house, sort of treating it like a classic car where families are, keeping all their notes on the home. And we suggest it for any homeowner out there is that when you do replace the roof, that, again, usually there's warranties with items such as roofs and these items. You keep the paperwork. You're able to show the sellers and use that for your presentation. Saying, it's right here. I did the roof. Here's a hot water heater receipt. We did the plumbing. We did the sewer line. And when you can present those to a future buyer of the home, they definitely know you took care of the house. You're on top of the maintenance on it.
Well, Craig, how impressive would it be that if you walked into somebody's house and on the kitchen counter or on the breakfast table that there was this folder, right? And you flip through it, and it shows the warranty. It shows when the windows were replaced. It shows everything. I mean, that's got to blow some people away.
Absolutely. I mean, you walk in and you have that. I mean, I don't think I've seen that in my 8 years. I don't think I've ever seen that.
You'll start doing it.
Yeah, maybe I'll start doing that.
Right. Hey, Craig, what about your team concept? I know you've been around, over at Howard Hannon. Now you're starting to build your team up a little bit. Tell me a little bit about what you see in the team, formation of your team, and how it works for you.
Well, it's just took place in the last couple of days, and did about 39, 40 transactions last year by myself, and it just gets overwhelming trying to manage family life and then real estate and just having time for yourself. It's really difficult. So having that team is just a huge part of it. You can walk into a listing presentation, and you're not just getting one agent anymore. You're getting two people. You're getting three people. You got three different sets of eyes on something where I might have missed something, that other person can catch up on it. And then personality. Again, personalities come into it. They might not be attracted to me at that point in time, and it's maybe my colleague or whatnot that they have a different connection with, and it just makes it a little bit a smoother transaction.
Yeah, I like that. Not everyone's going to always. I always say I'm not for everybody.
I have a little touch.
Not you. Yeah. You're doing pretty good.
Yeah, we do that, Harvey, and we talk about it a lot. We like building teams, and when you have more sets of eyes looking at things, and you have a little bit more perspective into a situation, you can kind of solve it a lot better and a lot quicker when you have a little bit more opinions. Now, there's also a saying there's too many cooks in the kitchen. I don't believe that. I believe that, you have the master chef and then the sous chef, and then you have everybody else making that great meal for you, whereas one person just can't do everything. And if you're going to build a business and you're going to go to the next level, you have got to be able to take a look at the vision and see what's down the road for you. And then, you know what? 2 people, 3 people, 4 people can do more than one person. It's just the math. It's just common sense. But like you said, if everybody had common sense, if common sense was so common, everybody would have it, and that's just not the case.
No, I can't agree more. And then I actually came back from a figure skating background. So we were always it wasn't just one coach. It was a team aspect. And that's where we excelled the most.
But it was also pairs, wasn't it?
It was pairs.
So you couldn't do it by yourself, could you?
I could not do it by myself. I wasn't as talented, so I had to bring my wife along, and so we skated together.
The best part, right?
That's cool.
The better half. So that's what's being, in individual sports, it's all on you. But even the best tennis players, even the best golfers, have a team around them, their swing coach, their nutritionist. Okay, they have their strength and conditioning coaches. It's not that one person trying to do everything by themselves anymore. In life, life is a team sport, and we preach that, and we say that all the time. You have to let more people into your life to allow you to get to the next level, and that's what the team concept's all about.
All right, we take all your calls here, 248-539-9797. We come back, some facts, some information about buying and selling. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Hi, Harry.
Welcome back to the show. 248-539-9797. Going to take all your calls here this morning. I'm Harvey Freed, Harry Glantz. We bring in Lee Ehlers.
Boy, having some fun at the break talking about some crazy
Well,
stuff.
he's a lot of fun to bring in usually.
Yeah,
He's got a new movie. We got tons to talk about. But hey, let's go to some of these calls here. We've got Steve on the line to see if my here he goes. We're going to go to our caller and click on caller Steve. There she goes. Hey, good morning. Welcome to our show. Steve, you there?
Am I on?
There you go,
Yeah,
my
we can
man.
hear
What's
you now.
happening?
Okay. I was just calling about a general question. Like, my daughter's got a house and she's paying that stupid PMI insurance.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was just wondering, like, does the mortgage company take that off automatically when you fall below the 80%, or do they just keep soaking you until you get a hold of them? And with the market going up or whatever, she's been there a couple of years. So, like, do they accept outside appraisal to determine that you owe less than 80% now and take that off? Or how's that work?
Okay, no, yes, and maybe.
Well,
Okay, no, it doesn't come out off automatically. Yes, they're going to keep soaking you. And maybe if we got an independent appraisal, maybe we could send it into the servicer, and maybe they would go ahead and deem it, take off the PMI. So how do we get rid of people's PMI, Harvey and Lee? We get rid of people's PMI by taking a look at, again, their individual situation, and what's the rate, and how long is she going to stay in the house? So if the current rate is at what the market rates are now or higher, then we would suggest getting an independent appraisal and refinancing the transaction and removing the PMI that way. So, I mean, we need to know a little bit more, but I hope I answered your question. Yes, they're going to keep soaking you. No, it doesn't automatically come off, and maybe we could get it done by just getting an independent appraiser and submitting it to the servicer. But the best way to do it is if we can get an appraisal, and it appraises for more, that you chose the 20% equity position, and we can save your daughter some money.
Yeah, Steve, some of the things is she bought the house. Did she she got a conventional loan? You're calling it PMI. Did she get a conventional loan or
Or an FHA?
Was it FHA by any chance?
Yeah, I believe it's a regular conventional.
Yeah, regular conventional loan. So she's in a situation where we're going to, definitely take a look. There's so many families. Welcome back to the show, 9:30. If you're just joining us, 24 degrees later today. The sun is shining here in the studio. Get out there and enjoy. Great day to look at some houses. Call your local real estate agent. But first, you got to call Capital Mortgage Funding. Get that strong approval letter. That's right, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Call us here on the show, and we'll show you how to do it all at 248-539-9797. We have open lines all morning. We got unbelievable Craig Joe right in here from Howard Hanna Real Estate in Birmingham. Craig, you're awesome. I think you're going to be slammed today. We're already getting you buyers. We'll keep this thing going for you here. And that's what makes it really fun, is working with fun people that are knowledgeable of the industry. We always say that the knowledge gives you the confidence, and then it makes everything so much smoother. And I'll tell you, we close deals 15 to 30 days, but the files that close that quickly, it's the clients it's because of the clients. It's not because of anyone else. It's the clients that understand their process, get their documents together, and work with real professionals like you who have those inspectors all lined up, and obviously good communication with the listing agents to get transactions done in a timely manner. We got some really fun stuff coming up too. We got the great show coming up at the Cottage and Lakefront Living Show at the Suburban Collection Showplace. That's going to be happening out on February 28th to March 3rd at the end of the month. I'm excited because I'm going to stop by there, Ronnie. I think we all got a chance to get out there. You got 2 shifts out there, great. But it's a lot of fun if you're going to get out there. This is one of the more fun shows because, again, second homes are really a lot of fun, and looking at all the things that a Lakefront Living brings you, sort of get you that little taste of spring right here at the end of the month. So again, call Capital Mortgage Funding if you want to meet us out there. We'd love to see you. It's going to be, again, at the Suburban Collection Showplace.
Yeah, we're going to stop by after the show, meet everybody, and greet everybody. We're going to have a booth set up like we do. We do a lot of trade shows in the area, a lot of professional shows, the CPA Continuing Ed show, along with a lot of home improvement shows that we do, because guess what? Buying a house is one of the largest transactions, if not the largest transaction people are going to make in their lives, and we have to dispense accurate information.
Yeah, well, Harry, one of the things families can do too, and Craig, of course, you see a lot of second home purchases. A lot of our families, especially where you work, a more affluent area, and they definitely, a lot of the families are going to take a look at that second home, that vacation home, and there's different ways to do it. Whether you want to use the equity in your current home because you just want to have one mortgage, or maybe you just get a mortgage for your up north property. Just as little as 10% down on vacation homes, Ron. You can do the lender paid PMI. You can do it with a couple different families, but there's some great opportunities. Of course, we have this gem called Up North Michigan, which, again, a lot of you get a chance to get up north throughout the year. But also Jackson has always been a great area. There's some other areas across Michigan that are just great for second homes, and we do loans all across the United States. Wherever you want to buy that second home, definitely give us a call.
I think we do loans everywhere.
We do loans everywhere here. You can even put your hands up here and do that. Hey, Craig.
Sure, saw it on TV.
One of the things we always do is in our office, it's like everything has to do sports related. We even do our mortgage real estate show here on a sports station. So there's no doubt there's some correlations between some of our past experiences in life and what you got going. Now, you were, let me say it for you, it's easier for me you were a national champion figure skater. It's really impressive stuff. I mean, if I could skate, I might have been a hockey player.
Yeah, that's it's tough. But yeah, I was 5 years old when I started, and actually met my wife figure skating. We were third in the United States in 2000, which in my hometown of Cleveland, we represented really great. And we had about 200 and some people watching, which was amazing. And it's actually it's helped my career. Just the dedication that it had and the fortitude, and it helps with a structure.
Yeah.
Right. Waking up every morning, knowing what you have to do, and the same thing with real estate. You've got to do that. You've got to have that. You've got to set your expectations to be successful.
Yeah, that plan in the process is always the key.
Yeah, so it helped you form the structure and the discipline, but it also helped you form your competitive nature, right? Your competitive balance, to where you're taking what you did athletically and you're putting it into your business, and you know how to compete. You don't get rattled. You know that every day you wake up and you compete. And you know how it is to compete. You go hard. You don't go crazy, but you go hard. You know what it is, and it's a mental toughness that you've achieved in competition. Go ahead and explain that a little bit, how it translates into business.
It's just controlling your emotions, controlling that, you do get, I am super competitive, super competitive. So when there's other agents or whatnot, not that we're competing against each other, but in that same way, you see them doing something, I definitely want to be at that level. I want to get to that next step. I want to be at 15, 20 million a year, so I'm always trying to push myself, but walking into a transaction, trying to keep calm, keep the people calm, again, keeping their emotions together. A lot of people, that's their castle, that's their home is everything. So when someone comes in with a lower offer, they get offended.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure that, hey, listen, try not to take offense to this. This is what they want. Let's try to make both sides happy. I did that a lot with the skating that I did, with the partnerships that I formed, whether I'm coaching now or with my partner that I skated with. It's a 50-50. You have to have a 50-50.
That's great stuff.
So the relationships that you build, and I just want to extrapolate on this a little bit more, get this out of you, is that when you're in a competition and you're going around from site to site and you're meeting people, you also become friendly with them. It's the relationships that you've built. And I'll bet you right now, sitting here, and this is the first time I've met you, that you have relationships that you formed all the way back in the early days to now, and you still keep in touch with those people.
100%. I mean, it's I think I did about 5 or 6 transactions last year with all of my students that I started out with, that I taught from the beginning, from the age of 10, 11. Now they're turning 21, 22, and they want their first home. And they're all coming to me. I built a trust with them and a friendship with them. I just had a little reunion last year, or 2 weeks ago, for the Nationals, and I had about 150 people come out, and it was people that I haven't seen for 25 years, but like we knew each other, and we were hanging out 2 days ago.
No, that's fun stuff. Definitely, hey, look, home sellers out there, and we know how that can get real touchy. It's been their house. They've cherished this for a lot of years. They had record profits last year in 2018. It was nuts. The average was $61,000 that a seller profited in 2018. They made 32.6% of the return of their investment. The most profitable time to sell in the last 12 years was last year. And believe it or not, I couldn't believe this. 27.8% of them were cash. I think they got mortgages after the fact, but it was such a competitive market that a lot of the families knew that maybe if they could put their funds together cash-wise, borrow here and there, they were able to close and then get the mortgage afterwards to get their offer accepted.
I saw a lot of parents giving money to their children.
Yeah,
and,
all the time.
Because it was in a multiple offer situation. I mean, Royal Oak, Berkeley, Ferndale, that corridor right there, and 5, 6 offers, and obviously cash is still king.
Yeah.
So parents were like, here's your allowance, pay me back.
And of course, one of the things we saw, Craig, too, is a lot of the families needed extra money. A lot of our, people our age and a little bit younger, they got a little extra money to maybe the house in appraise. They had a bit over asking. You're allowed to get gifts from family members. Gift letters are filled out properly. The exchange is done properly through family members. Gifts are allowed, whether it be, Ronnie, as you know, FHA, VA loans, conventional mortgage. Gifts are allowed. You're not supposed to pay your relatives back. It's a true gift. But on the other hand, sometimes people do different things outside of the transaction, but the key is that everything's done up and up. And again, you're allowed to do that. The IRS allows you to gift your kids lots of money, so the two parents can give lots of money to their children. Hey, a little bit of sad news out there, but we wanted to salute Capital Mortgage Funding and Harry and Dan. Wanted to salute the life of John Dingle, Senator Dingle. Just what a great representation of Michigan and all his hard work and his outstanding service to our state and to the people of Michigan. So salute to John Dingle and his family. That sort of was touching last night. I read a couple of the things that he put out there recently, and I think we all should be proud as Michiganders, Harry, that we had a guy who was pretty outstanding dude out there in Dearborn and a really likable guy. So salute to him. And if you want to join the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, give us a call, 248-539-9797. Let's go to our first call here. We've got Harry coming in from Rochester. Good morning. Welcome to our show.
Good morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
Morning.
Good.
How are you?
Excellent.
Good morning.
Nice, good listening to you. It makes you think about the reality of, selling houses, which is not going on a picnic exactly. Anyway, I have a house in Troy. Right now it's a rental, and the basement had the foundation. I found out later after I bought the house had some issues. The foundation had to be realigned with Foundation Systems of Michigan's product. I don't know if you know about those.
No, I do. I like it. I like their stuff, yeah.
Okay, if you like their stuff, that's good, because my question would be, what's the best way to market a house like that? I've had it done on two of the walls in the basement, and I feel confident now that the issue has been addressed, and I don't know if I should say that. Legally, do I have to say there's structural problems, or now that are they officially fixed? Because I guess it's a lifetime warranty on the work they did.
Yeah, we're going to let Craig answer that question. There's something called a seller's disclosure that he's going to get into right this second.
Yes, legally you do have to disclose that, and you do if you have all that paperwork. I mean, that is like what we were talking about earlier in the show. Is put that on the table, let them see the work that you've done, and that's gonna make them feel warm and cozy inside. That hey, the work has been done. you can sell this house at this price and whatnot. So they're not trying to take a price deduction right from the beginning. As soon as they walk in the house, you could see that you've done the work.
Yeah, their product is the warranties, I think, are transferable. I'm going to have them do the crawl space, I think, this summer, actually. So they encapsulate the area, or they did the repair on your foundation. And I believe that if you put it on the seller's disclosure, you're telling the people out there, look, there was a situation. We had this company come and fix it, very reputable. Here's the warranty. They back their product. And they've even improved their product, because we had them out 4 or 5 years ago, and now they're using a thicker plastic, or the stuff they encapsulate it with. So, yeah, Harry, I'm glad you got the work done. Tell us a little bit more. When are you selling that house? You putting it on the market now, or what?
Well, what is it? It's February, and it's rented until the end of June, and I intended on putting it on the market in July.
Well, fantastic. We're going to have Craig definitely give you a phone call. He actually went to Troy High School at a time there, so he knows your area quite well, and maybe he can come and see if you guys can hook up and get some good information shared.
Okay, that'll be excellent. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. All right.
Harry.
We're going to take all your calls all morning long. 248-539-9797. Keep it here.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Everyone is up. Yeah, it's warm. Definitely a heat wave out there, Harry, and we got the heat wave coming all weekend around. Be prepared for some slush out there. That's definitely coming our way.
Yeah, keep going. It's where we live. It's what we do.
All
it's
good. 248-539-9797. We definitely want to hear from you. Let's go to some calls here. We've got Dave out there in Canton. Dave, good morning. Welcome to our show.
How you doing?
Real good. What's happening?
Hey, just a question. How much difference is there in interest rates between a mortgage for your primary residence and investment property?
Go say that again.
No, interest rate. The difference between a conforming conventional interest rate on owner-occupied property
versus
and investment property.
Well, actually, they could be the same if you don't want to, again, points and the closing costs come into play right away. Also, the loan-to-value and the credit score comes to play.
Right.
But generally speaking, you can get into an investment property for as little as, if it's a straight rental, you're buying as an investment 20% down. And the rate's very similar, if you've got great credit, very similar to what if you're going to be your primary residence would
If it's not, it's a half to a point higher. That's the answer to the question.
Okay. And the rest of the process, appraisals and stuff like that, that should all be the same?
All the same.
Or does it shouldn't be any more for investment properties?
Well, it depends on when you got to get a rent schedule done on an appraisal. Mike Tomchek from an appraisal that we know will tell you that it's a little bit more work. But generally speaking, it's going to be in the same range. So let's just say a conforming conventional owner-occupied property, it's an appraisal is anywhere from $350 to $450. Maybe an investment property is going to be $400 to $500. So it's in that same range, depending on how much work that appraiser has to do.
Yeah, Dave, so let me answer your question real quick. So I do a lot of investment properties, flips, all that type of stuff, rentals. And what I've found is you really just have to partner with a lender that kind of knows the game, and then it's as effortless as anything else is, because they already have access to all your information. Because one of the things that kind of pop up is if you're just buying one, it's pretty simple. But once you start buying 2, 3, 4, you got to have those rents, you got to have those the tenants' information all written down so they can verify debt to income and stuff like that. So if you just have capital, look at it, they go through the process with you, they have you all hooked up. When you're buying, the difference between buying the fourth and the fifth one is pretty.
And Apple iTunes.
Alrighty, welcome back. 9:45. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Get that strong approval letter. Always here in the studio, 248-539-9797. Happy to have you on board here. Again, we got Craig Joe right in. He's a great agent, lots of fun to talk to. And if you guys are looking at getting out there, definitely give us a phone call. We got tons to share with you still. We at Capital Mortgage Funding also want to talk to you about a couple different programs out there. The down payment assistance program. Now, listen, Mishta loans have been out there forever, Ron. I don't know what's going on with the crazy Mishta loans all of a sudden, but $7,500, the state of Michigan, if you qualify for the program, they'll give you $7,500. They have 61 selected zip codes, and that program will give you $15,000. But there's only about 4 to 5 million left. You got about 3 weeks to go ahead and get your funds reserved on that program. So again, there's some great down payment assistance programs across Michigan. The Michigan Housing State Development Authority, called MISHDA, they offer these programs up. They're quiet second mortgages. They're sort of second mortgages that are attached to your first lien. You don't have to pay them back if you stay in the house for 5 years. But again, you got to qualify for the program. You can't make too much money. It is for lower to moderate income families, and the housing price could only be up to $224,900 or $224,500. So a little bit to know on that program, but we offer all of those at Capital Mortgage Funding, along with all of our great zero down programs, VA, rural development loans. Take a look at FHA at 3.5% down and learn all about sellers' concessions and how to purchase a house. So I'm trying to touch on everything here this morning. Here we are. Jumbo loans are absolutely the best. If you've got a great house, if your loan amount's over $484,350, that's the new jumbo limit. Give us a call, Capital Mortgage Funding. We got programs without PMI. If you're looking at buying that gorgeous house on wherever it is in the Grosse Pointes in Ann Arbor, whether it be up in Genesee County, Livingston County, anywhere, Birmingham, Bloomfield Hills, give us a call, 1-800-LOW-RATE, and go ahead and lock in a great, great interest rate. We got tons to share with you, too. Other fun stuff about real estate is the reverse mortgages. We're going to just tap on a little bit. We talked about some cash out refinances. You can use the funds in your home right now to get rid of some of that credit card debt. I know a lot of you have some of the woes from Christmas. We call it the woes of the last holiday season, and those bills are showing up. So a lot of families right now might have some opportunity with all the built-in equity of your home, where you can pull some equity out of your home, use that to get rid of your toxic debt, those high interest rates credit cards, and get yourself back on your feet. So that's about it. I'm going to run out of breath here. 248-539-9797. Craig, it's your turn. You talk all
I
night.
realize you did that in about 90 seconds, Harvey. You went over FHA, VA, jumbos, conforming conventional, cash out refi in about 90 seconds. Good job, my man.
Not too bad. We got it in.
There you go. You've done this before.
I've done it a little bit. But, Craig, you're really downsizing of the house. I mean, sure, our empty nesters want to do it. I was even reading an article this morning, and we were talking about, they were in there just about 60, but they were preparing their empty nesters now. If it's not always, you could downsize your home, but it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to save money, because a lot of the families now get into these condominiums. Now you got the association fee. So you really have to figure out where you're going to land and how much money you want to work with. Because downsizing doesn't mean you're going to save money necessarily.
No, it doesn't. I mean, and it also obviously location, right? You got to look at the locations that you want to be in, the fluency of the area, the local. They say that, I think it's Starbucks. The closer you are to a Starbucks, the more your house is worth.
Okay.
You know that?
Really?
You guys ever see that before?
That's a new one. I like Starbucks.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like the closer proximity you are to Starbucks, the more your house is worth.
Okay.
It
I like
was a
that.
study that was done. I don't know. I read it somewhere.
I believe you.
It was online somewhere.
I always felt the closer my house to a baseball field, the more my house was worth. That was just me.
Or maybe an ice arena.
I don't know.
An ice rink, yeah.
But, definitely. So it is a location. It's going to determine. And that's why it's so important. I think even if the families are out there thinking about it, sure, you want to list them right away. And, they're bigger homes. They're for that the growing family. And the other family's trying to downsize. But again, you really have to see get out there and see what their tastes are, what their budget's all about. But it's all about location.
No, for sure. It's all of real estate. It's always been, right? Location, location, location. So, yeah, taking the time, making sure that they get their wants. I mean, ranches are huge, right? For downsizing, getting the no steps, nice, easy living, open floor plans, that kind of thing is a big push right now. Seeing a lot of ranches come onto the market.
All right, let's go to another call here. 248-539-9797. Let's go off to Wayne. Good morning, Wave. You are live on the ticket. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Real good. Go ahead with your question.
Good. So I bought my first home back in October in Clawson, and I'm really liking it. But I had a question for you about increasing home value.
Sure.
So It's a bungalow built in 1927, and it was very dated. So it had it's a story and a half, and the upstairs was all the knotty pine. So we repainted it, made it a bedroom, and then we painted all the trim white, painted all the walls, and made it look really fresh. Could just doing that kind of stuff make the value go up?
I'm going to let you go with that one, Craig.
That's it.
I mean, it's going to help I don't know if it actually increased the value, but it would. Like if someone's walking into the house and they see that, they're going to be drawn more to it, right? But it's not going to. The issues that you're going to do is what the appraiser is going to look at, right? Have you increased the value with appliances? They're looking at hardwood floors, and again, the big ticket items that we talked about earlier: the furnace, the AC, the windows, that kind of stuff. That's where you're going to get the money. Update the kitchen and bathrooms, huge.
So Wayne, Clawson's a hot area. How many square feet do you have there?
It's about 1,400.
So it's 1,400.
So it's a good starter home.
Is it 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath?
Yeah, it was technically 3-bedroom, but that upstairs was nasty. So we made it like a little loft area and put the master up there.
Yeah.
So it's nice. 1 bathroom. So my next question would be to get that value, because I don't know how long I want to stay.
Right.
Would you recommend, because I have an old furnace, no central air, would you recommend adding a second bathroom or updating the furnace and getting some central air in there?
Well, you have to do your cost analysis. What's it going to cost you to put the central air? What's it going to cost you to put the bathroom in? But, a bathroom, you add another half bath in there. A half bath is great, but how much is it going to cost you? And I think what you have to do is you have to get, Craig involved. You got to do a comp search on the houses in that area, and you've got to do your cost-benefit analysis on that. And I think that he'd have some great information for you. But that's what you got to do. You got to sit down with somebody, and you have to decide how long you're going to be in there, and then how much money you want to put in it to try to get out of it what you're going to get out. So, you got to do the math.
Craig, with this time, he just bought it in October. Maybe after this summer, after this spring and summer, we could really get a good barometer of what's going on in his neighborhood.
No, absolutely. I mean, right now, again, there's a limited amount of houses that are on the market, so it's going to be tough. But I just had an experience with a gentleman that I'm working with right now. He bought his house. It's been about 6 months. He's putting his house back on the market. A couple things have changed, but he redid all the hardwood floors. He painted. He put some new carpet in and just spruced it up a little bit. I mean, and we're adding value to the house, probably about 10 or 15,000 from where he bought it from.
Yeah, it's good. And again, we're looking at homes appreciating, Wayne, about up to about 5%. All depends selected areas and what region you are in the state. But hopefully, as this year turns around, you'll see some appreciation in your house. And I hope that you make those repairs on the house. Definitely, I love to I like that the idea of getting a new furnace in there and that air conditioning.
Yeah.
I think those are great selling features. And then if he finds that he's going to stay there, maybe even get some use and enjoyment out of the half bathroom, then he's got some value too when he goes and sells it. Now he's got a bath and a half. But that would be determined by what else is going on in the neighborhood. That's more important.
Yeah, and I would also add, if he doesn't get the furnace or the AC, add a home warranty, because I believe he said that the furnace was a little bit older.
Okay.
Putting that home warranty on there just gives that warm, cozy feeling to that buyer. So if he's going to do one or the other and he decides to go with the bathroom so that he can enjoy it a little bit more, or his family, and he doesn't go the other route and doesn't update those things, that home warranty will take care of a lot of those.
Yeah, that's good. It gives you peace of mind.
Not having either of those amenities, an extra half bath. I mean, you got to do the furnace and AC, don't you?
Yeah, you got to have.
I would think so. I would think so first.
Yeah, especially with what we've experienced last week. You want that furnace working really good. There's no doubt these tight inventories are going to be a little scary for some of the families out there. And that's why we urge you to definitely deal with your team, get your professional team together, get a true mortgage approval letter, sit down with great real estate agents, understand the ins and outs, and really just discuss it. And I think that one-on-one contact is really important. When you engage with professional people, the conversations that come out of it will really help you to be successful with home ownership. There's a shortage of homes out there. I mean, Freddie Mac's talking about the shortage is somewhere around 2.5 million, the research shows, because we're aging in place. They say that these families are definitely aging as we retire. Our parents, my mom, she's not going anywhere. So definitely, and she's at 77, and we see that we want to keep our families and our parents in their home as long as possible so they can enjoy their comforts of living.
Yeah, no, it's you're seeing the millennials kind of going back and forth with 2 or 3 houses within their time span of buying houses, but you are definitely seeing, like right now, a shortage of homes, and it's starting to that market shift that we've all been expecting, on that 10-year wave. So I think you're definitely seeing a shortage in the market.
Alrighty. Would you believe it already,
Is
Craig?
that it?
That music says that was our hour. We're all done. Easy.
That was awesome. Thank you, guys.
We're having you back, man. You're awesome.
Craig. We really
Joe
appreciate
Wright,
it.
Howard Hanna Realty in downtown Birmingham. He's awesome. Get to know him. Give us a call at Capital Mortgage Funding. I know we'll get you set up with Craig and whoever called the show today. Of course, you're entered into our giveaway. We're going to start gathering names and numbers, so be sure to call us here on the show and leave your name and number. All right, we got Pat Caputo coming up with sports, social commentary. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. For Ron Jacobs, for Harry Glanz, I'm Harvey Freed. We'll see you next Saturday.